The standard of living in the rural areas of Thailand is higher than in many developing countries. Yet Bangkok acts as a huge magnet. There is no other city in Thailand to rival its size. The rural-urban rush to Bangkok has been unstoppable. Never very far from the well-to-do areas are where people live who have moved to Bangkok in huge numbers from the countryside. The new arrivals seek out the plots of land scattered all over the city that nobody else really wants and build their own homes. It's the same story all over the developing world. It's reckoned that 1.5 million people in Bangkok live in do-it-yourself houses, about 1/6 of the population. In many places, the residents themselves, like in this district, Klong Toi, have upgraded the one-time slums into pleasant areas with their own shops, transport, schools, clinics, small businesses, and a real sense of community. Mali Pantawong and her husband Pitun moved to Bangkok from the countryside 15 years ago.
At
that time, I didn't really know which way to turn. I'd finished my education at the end of primary school, and any work in the local area wasn't enough to make a proper living. So I thought Bangkok was the place to be. I thought there are lots of people here, and they need food. And that's what I've been doing ever since, selling food. At first, we rented this house, but it was ever so small. We fixed it up ourselves at weekends. When we had time, we made it bigger. I got told off because the land belonged to someone else. But when they weren't looking, we just extended the house bit by bit. Frankly, if you're talking about poor people, life isn't very comfortable, no matter where they live. But here in Bangkok, it's easier to make a living. Take my husband, for instance. He's not a farmer, but in the countryside, there's nothing else to do to make a living. But here there's the opportunity for a small taxi business, so we can survive. Also, it's better to live here if you have a problem, like falling sick. If you want to buy something, there's a lot of choice. And where we live, we're near the schools. Our children might have a slightly better future. My oldest boy graduated with a certificate in mechanics. Now the young one is in his 3rd year at commercial college. In Bangkok, we make enough money to look after the family day by day, but there's rarely any money left over. Sometimes we have money, sometimes we don't. At the moment, I actually feel that things are getting worse. I mean the economy, the environment, our surroundings. The rich are not interested in the poor. They have their own comfortable lives. They don't pay much attention to us. The rich are getting even richer. The poor are getting even worse off.
What advice would Mali give now to anyone looking to move to Bangkok from the countryside?
If they're making a go of it in the countryside, the way I see it, I'd tell them not to come to Bangkok. But if they've got no work at all, they should think about coming if it's really necessary. But I wouldn't say straight out, come, it's good. No, I wouldn't do that, because the more people come to Bangkok, the worse life gets for all of us. Our lives are much better than before, but if you want life to get much better than this, that's probably impossible.